everyone. My name is Jakub. I'm actually from Masaryk University, which is participating in Concordia, and I want to show you presentation on how actually design an open cybersecurity training exercise. The reason is because we released our Kaipo CyberRange platform during last year, and Kaipo CyberRange platform in a nutshell, it's the first open source CyberRange in EU, I believe. That means that you can basically download it right away and test it. We are actually also working on like several improvements at this moment, how to make it even more user friendly, how to make content development easier, and how to make everything smoother. Like just few interesting facts about the CyberRange itself. We are developing it since 2013. The project was at the beginning supported by Czech Ministry of Interior, and I'm sorry. Yeah, it was supported by Czech Ministry of Interior, and right now it's built on top of the OpenStack cloud. I mean, it's the idea behind the CyberRange that we are trying to keep everything as open as possible, to use open tools. Actually, the format of the contents of training and exercises is also open. So there are no issues of sharing content, sharing ideas, and so on. And I also decided that I'll try to show you actually the CyberRange live if it's possible. I know that we'll have not enough time to go through everything, but we can try to see the important parts. So right now it should be switched to our CyberRange actually. Just please confirm someone that it works. And as you can see, this is the main GUI of the CyberRange. The first thing I would like to show you actually is the definition of, or let's say to show you how does it look like to create a training. It consists of two parts. One is sandbox definition, which means basically that's a definition of the systems, of the networks, and so on. Here, as you can see, we have two definitions already available. And if we check it very briefly, then and you click on the link, then you can see it will send us to our GitLab, and then basically you can see how everything is described. That like kind of huge advantage is that the whole CyberRange is connected with GitLab, so the versioning and like the everything what you need to use this code it's very easy and very So this is the sandbox definition. That's the technical part you need for your training or for your exercise. Then there is another part which is called training definition. That means that basically you define how the training itself looks and works. As you can see that we have it divided into levels. Like the first level here is just, let's say, some summary of what is happening in this training. And then we have the other levels, which are actually the game ones, which means that we have defined how long it should take, how many hints the user can get or the trainee can get, there is a right answer, and so on. And basically with these levels, you can put together the whole training. Doesn't matter how long you want to have it. Doesn't matter how many levels. You can also, if you want to add some questionnaires, as you can see below, it's very good for, let's say, collecting feedback or, I don't know, asking some follow-up questions. Like I think in this Concordia consultant course, we are actually using this the way that you work in the CyberRange, and then there are additional questions, like for example, which tool you need to use to crack the password and so on. So this is, let's say, the part of me as an administrator. And also, if you have these definitions put together, then you create something called training instance, which basically means you define how many trainees can attend, how long it takes, and so on. And for this also you need defined resources. That means that you have your virtual environments available. We can also kind of easily check what is actually happening in this cyber range. We can see that this instance is actually quite empty. So we have a lot of space here to work. And just very brief check for how does it look like from the point of view of the trainee. If I remember actually the token correctly. This token means that you can share it with your trainees, and at the moment of the exercise, okay, so it expired, no worries. It means that you can share it with your trainees and they can access on the time they need to and so on. So because it seems that it expired, I can show you very briefly how does it look inside of the sandbox. Because every trainee has basically this map, and then they can access the machine. And yeah, and here you can see the basic machine. How does it work? I was playing in this sandbox before a bit, so the idea was to find the telnet here and like crack the password, which can be, for example, done like this. So like, right now we are trying to attack the server machine, and then we'll just simply get what is happening. But yeah, well, this is very briefly the cyber range. I would like to really show you much more, but there are too many things. So let's go back to presentation. The idea was actually to talk more about what is the platform good for. It's good for basically two use cases. It's for training, so it means you have CTF-like hands-on training, as you saw actually. You can have a red or blue team event, so it means you can train your trainees in the attack scenarios, or they can train the defending or hardening skills. From my point of view, this is very useful to train people, to teach them how to do the work properly. And also we actually have few training scenarios already available, so you can download them and you can use them. Otherwise you need to develop your own, and we have also more parts available, so it's kind of easy. The other part is exercises. From my point of view, the exercise is the second most realistic way to train people how to work, or what happens if attack happens. I mean, the first most realistic is the attack itself, or let's say the red teaming activity. Here we have these exercises actually available as a service, because we do it for customers on top of this platform. So it basically, you can also see that it's very well used during its lifetime. And yeah, as I said, the training itself, it's good for this level-based structured learning. As you saw, it means that the trainee kind of walks step by step. It's from my point of view as a lecturer, you can lead him the way you want to. He can get all the help through the hints and everything. So it's quite fine. It's also kind of nice that in the platform you have actually a lot of monitoring and feedback tools, so you can see actually if any trainee is lagging behind, and like you can help them, or you can see what is happening. You can actually adjust through this feedback and all the data, the training. So like basic, if you realize that some level is too hard, you can make it easier, or you can switch it and so on. For the training, we are actually using the platform itself for teaching at Masaryk University. That's one job of this platform. It was also used in the past, and it's going to be used again for a CONCORDIA cyber consultant course. That's for part of the learning, and also for the part of the testing, the participants. So they basically have their hands-on exam in Kaipo, like very interesting part. And from the exercise point of view, As I said, this is we are doing mostly red blue team exercises. So it means that you have your team as defenders, so people from cybersecurity team and so on. They are trying to keep the infrastructure alive, and we have automated tools and like our people from red team which are attacking them. So these attacks are totally realistic. It's like those are the attacks that are happening in the real infrastructures. The defenders, on the other hand, have realistic tools. So if they want to have elk stack for logs, they can have elk stacks for logs. If they need to have any other tool, they can have it. The infrastructure I put here is semi-realistic. It actually means that you can make a digital twin of your infrastructure here in Kaiko platform, but it doesn't make sense so much. It's too costly solution. So we are trying to create every time something semi-realistic, as you can see on the right side, which actually is something like branch of one company where, with a lot of employees and a lot of vulnerabilities and so on. And also we are actually using people who are emulating users, and we are also emulating traffic inside. And during the lifetime of Kaipo, we had a lot of these exercise events. We did cyber check exercise, which was actually the first technical exercise in Czech Republic. And we also actually work with banks, for example, or companies from energy sector. They train their cybersecurity operation or the CSIR teams here. We are actually looking forward to work with more. I think there are actually also hospitals in the pipeline and so on. But yeah, just very briefly, I wanted to actually talk about how to design a quality training or exercise, because I think that this is right now an issue. We have open source cyber range. We can, like, basically anybody can use it, but how to make the training, which is, or the exercise, is the important part. From my experience as a people who designed more than a few of them, the most important part is actually to listen, let's say, to the customers you have or we have, because we sometimes learn that they actually need something else than they're asking. And then from that point of view, we need to define the goals of the exercise. So for example, one customer asked us that they need to learn how to run, let's say, drills, how to defend against DDoS attacks, and how to treat the leakage of information from their infrastructure and so on. The good idea is actually to link everything with frameworks. So we are trying to put together our trainings or our exercises with meter framework, or we are actually inspiring in the real life attacks. So basically you go through the write-up of some APT group and you try to mimic their behavior as closely as possible. Also, the other part here is that, and I cannot stress it actually enough, is that you need multi-domain approach for the training or exercise, because you have, for example, a lot of technical knowledge, how it works, but it's really good to find someone who knows something about teaching and training and education and like this, or the concept as flipped class and so on, and how to, it actually helps you to make the training more engaging and, let's say, less boring, and also people will remember more. So like these guys have definitely place in the designing of the exercise. And the last but not least here, actually, it's every time it's important to put an interesting story to tie it up together. For example, again, one of the exercises we have done was about attack on bank, and then we mimic one APT, actually that one which stole money from the Bangladesh National Bank, and we put it all together through the story, how the employee downloaded the malicious file and so on and so on, and it, in the end, it looks like it makes sense, which I think is very important. Okay, and just like very briefly, I talked at the beginning about the fact that everything is open. That means that we are offering a lot of these training content or a lot of, and some parts of the exercises in this human and machine readable form. Basically everything is JSON or YAML file. So you can download it, you can walk through it, and you can see what is happening there. It's very easy to make some edits and so on. Also, you can basically freely change this content between Kaipo instances. So if we have something, we can send it to you, or you can send it to us, because we are kind of trying to build a community here. We also have experience with conversion to other CyberEngs in Concordia. Basically, you just need to write a converter, because we are using tools like YAML like Ansible and so on. So you just build everything, you convert it. And actually this utilization of a widely adopted tools is also important, because it doesn't make sense to invent anything new. Like sysadmins are using this for a while, and there is no difference between designing the environment for the exercise or training and the real infrastructure. And also the big advantage here is the high reusability of the code. Basically, you just can swap the Ansible roles with your colleagues or other organization to build something. So I think it kind of works great, and I think it's worth a thought. And actually, just I think totally last slide of this presentation, I wanted to say that in Concordia, we are working on the community. So we hope that there can be more organizations who are actually joining the community, because we need more content, and I think everybody needs more content right now. So we need more training, we need more exercises. We are actually offering something already and some supporting tools. And yeah, we are trying to set up something like foundation to govern the Kaipo CyberEng, because it's open source. So we'll be more than happy if some other organizations bring their thoughts. And we want to propose this platform for hands-on trainings in ECC and NSA. And yeah, I mean, this was very, very, very fast, I think. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. And just to the last and tiny promo here, I would say this was very brief introduction to how to design the hands-on training, and we will have, let's say, more detailed webinar on this topic soon. So if you want to, you can see it. It will be more technical. So if you want to learn how to design the training itself, and maybe you have some interested thoughts, that we'll be happy to see you there. And I think that's it. There are all the links, all the social media. So please check the platform itself on Concordia. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for your attention.